People love to talk about Chicago like it's a city in free fall. Crime, taxes, people fleeing to Texas and Florida. The headlines basically write themselves. And yet, if you actually look what the housing market is doing right now, the story is completely different. After helping people buy and sell across the market for 5 years, I can tell you this firsthand. Prices are up, bidding wars are back, buyers are lining up competing for the same homes again. And builders are out there buying lots as fast as they can find them because they know the demand is real and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. So today I'm breaking down the top 6 suburbs everyone is moving to right now and why the Chicago real estate market is the strongest it's ever been. Let's get into it. Here's what's driving everything you're about to see. The entire Chicagoland suburban market is running on less than 2 months of housing inventory. A balanced market needs at least 6. We're at a third of that right now, and in some towns, even less. That gap between buyers and available homes is the engine behind every single number I'm about to show you. So let's get into town number 1. If I had to pick one suburb that tells the whole Chicagoland story, it's going to be Wheaton, because Wheaton has one of the most competitive real estate markets in the Chicago area. Now, Wheaton's home prices are up 7% year over year. The average home is selling for 101% of asking price, or more sometimes. At peak market in 2025, the median days on market was just 6 days. That's how long the average home sat before it went under contract. And when it did go under contract and finally closed, it sold for more than asking. Now, homes in Wheaton have been averaging 6 or more competing offers according to Redfin, and that only accounts for what's reported to them. That doesn't account for off-market cash deals, for sale by owners, so it can be even higher. And it probably is. I have personally seen listings draw over 20 offers in this market. 20 offers on one house. Why is Wheaton so in demand? Well, let's think about what it offers. Great ranking schools. DuPage County school districts consistently rank among the best in Illinois according to niche.com. It has a beautiful walkable downtown with restaurants, coffee shops, local businesses. The Metro sits right here in downtown. It has strong neighborhood character. And the median household income is over $120,000, 1.5 times the national average, which means you definitely have well-qualified, financially stable people coming here competing for a limited amount of homes. Now that formula, great schools, strong community, limited supply, qualified demand, creates a kind of market we keep seeing here, plus that downtown and the train. And it will not change overnight, so you should expect to see the competition here for a while. Now, these next 2 towns sit right next to each other and are seeing some of the most aggressive growth and competition in the entire metro. But before we get into that, if you're thinking of relocating to Chicago or the suburbs, that's what I do every day. So reach out to me anytime here or sign up for my weekly newsletter right here. And I'll also link it below. Let's start with one of the most recognized names in the entire Midwest. And that data still backs out the reputation. That's going to be Naperville. First thing you have to understand, this place is massive. Nearly 39 square miles, over 150,000 people. It is the 3rd largest city in the entire state of Illinois. This is not a suburb in a traditional sense. It's kind of a full city. Every amenity you could want wrapped in the suburban lifestyle. And because of that size, the variety of homes here varies greatly. Historic character homes near downtown's core. You have established neighborhoods with mature trees and large lots. When people want to put roots down here, they never leave. You have luxury golf course communities on the south end. You have newer construction for first-time homebuyers just trying to break into this market. Condos and townhomes give buyers an entry point in the low, probably the mid-200s to the low 400s. Single-family homes start in the mid-400s, but expect to pay more, and they can definitely run into the millions. Whatever you're looking for here, it kind of exists somewhere in Naperville. The downtown Riverwalk is iconic. Everybody knows that. But what's happening in the Route 59 corridor right now is what actually has people excited. A $53 million development called Block 59 is completely reimagining the corner of 59 and Aurora Ave into a premier dining and entertainment district. We're talking Cheesecake Factory, Yard House, Ruth Chris, Shake Shack, Stan's Donuts, all centered around an open-air plaza built for community events year-round. This is the kind of investment that tells you everything about how developers see Naperville's future. And Naperville already holds the 2nd largest retail sales volume in the entire state of Illinois, without a single traditional mall. Now that's remarkable. Now access is another reason this market never seems to slow down. Route 59 connects you to 88 in minutes. You have two metro lines that give you multiple ways into the city. It is arguably the best connected suburb in Chicago. Now the numbers really back this up too. 1.2 months of inventory, homes selling in 11 days. The median home sales price for single family homes, about $520,000. And the $1 million homes here seem to move just as fast. Inventory keeps tightening year over year, and buyers just keep showing up. Now let's talk about the town just to the right, because it's doing incredible things right now. That's Downers Grove. Downers Grove has been one of the top performing suburbs in the entire Western corridor. The single family home prices were up double digits year over year, with nearly half of all the closings coming in above original list price. Now this neighborhood is really firing on all cylinders right now. And Downers Grove has always had great bones, a charming downtown, metro on 2 lines, excellent rated schools, mature neighborhoods. But in this market, those fundamentals are being rewarded at a level we haven't seen before. You know who recognizes this the most? It's the builders. MI Homes just scooped up 18 acres. It's the old site of a radio station to build 35 luxury single-family homes starting at $1.25 million. And if you know this builder, you're not walking out of there spending less than 1.4, if you're lucky. Now, over 52% of homes in Downers Grove have sold above asking price in 2025. Crazy, right? The buyers are there, the competition is seriously real, the prices are responding accordingly. Now, before we hop into the last few towns, let's really go over what's kind of causing this in the Chicago market. Since before the pandemic, active home listings across Chicago Metro have fallen by roughly 60%. Nearly 2/3 of the homes that used to be available for sale just are simply gone. Not bought and replaced, just gone. Meanwhile, the buyers, they're still here. Jobs are still here, families are still moving in. You got a massive demand chasing an inventory pool that's been cut by more than half, and we feel it. It is not a recipe for prices to fall. It's seriously a recipe for what we're seeing right now. So here's the obvious follow-up question. If demand is so strong, why isn't there more supply? Why don't builders build more homes? Well, there's 2 reasons for that. First, sellers are still holding onto their 3% mortgage rates and they're not moving. We can tell. They bought at the bottom, they locked in a nice generational rate, and there is no financial incentive to give that up right now. That locks some of the existing supply at the source. Second, new construction, it takes time. You'll see builders like D.R. Horton, Lennar buying up massive parcels of land in Will County and DuPage, but then it has to be rezoned, approved by the city, and fully developed with roads and utilities before a single foundation gets poured. So even when builders respond aggressively to the demand we're seeing, the market doesn't feel relief for quite some time. Now what that means for you is straightforward. Prices are not going to fall, not because of some Harry Potter magic, but because the math isn't allowing it. You can't have this many buyers chasing this few homes and watch price drops. It doesn't work that way. Now this shortage took years to build, and it's going to take years to fix. Now let's get into the next couple towns. Glen Ellen is one of those suburbs where the product basically sells itself. The metro stop right downtown, just like Wheaton has. We won't say schools and beat that to death for the 100th time. Just look at greatschools.org or Niche for any of that. You have beautiful tree-lined streets, walkable Main Street with character as well. You're starting to see a trend here, aren't you? The town's exploding in demand across the entire western suburbs always seem to have metro access. Now the median home prices sit around $495 to $535, give or take, and homes move in as little as 16 days, with an average of 5 competing offers, probably more. Nearly half of all the sales close above asking. Buyers who can't find a home in Wheaton, they just look a town over, and they realize Glen Ellen checks every single box too, just like Wheaton did. And while the median sits in the mid-500s, this town has plenty of homes worth $1 to $2 million. That's something you'll notice across some of these DuPage towns. Wheaton, Geneva, Naperville, they've got great entry-level homes in 400s and 500s right alongside a full range of $1 million plus properties. That depth of market is real. Now head south and you'd be surprised at what town has become honestly the most impressive growth story in this entire market. Now 20 years ago, Plainfield essentially was a small little town. In 2000, the population was just 13,000 people, a blip on the map between Naperville and Joliet. It felt like there was nothing there. Then the builders showed up, and they didn't stop. By 2010, the population had exploded to 40,000 people. By 2020, 45,000. Today, it pushes over 51,000 people and still going. Now, 2/3 of the housing in Plainfield was built after 2000. The majority of this entire town didn't exist 25 years ago. Go Banking Rates named it the #1 fastest growing boomtown in the entire state of Illinois. There is still only 1.6 months of supply of inventory here, and builders are cranking homes. The truth is, Plainfield still has land to develop. Some of these farm parcels will eventually turn into more neighborhoods, and the growth will continue. Now, the average sale price here, around $425,000. And new construction usually starts a little bit more than that. Now, if the towns to the north are out of the price range, this is where most buyers really start to look. And they find a market that is still hyper competitive and very much alive. If any of this has you thinking about the Chicago market, where to buy, what areas to watch, what to avoid, that's exactly what I'm here for. So reach out anytime here or scan the QR code on the screen and sign up for my weekly newsletter. I break down the market every week, cover local spots worth knowing about, and keeping you up to date on everything happening across the suburbs. All right, we can't talk about these suburbs without mentioning a town that had a massive wave of city transplants rush into it over the last few years, and that's going to be St. Charles. If you haven't experienced St. Charles, you kind of have to. The average sales price here is over $600,000. Homes sell in just 17 days. And in my past life, I was in and out of so many of these homes. I met city transplant after city transplant who bought here because of the sheer value of what your money gets you. Now, this town offers anything from a $400,000 home all the way up to multi-million-dollar estates on the Fox River. And it's seamlessly interwoven together. So you'd kind of be surprised at where you are sometimes. Now, it has one of the most beautiful downtowns on the Fox River. And yes, still under 2 months of supply. You see, it's 3 different towns, 3 different price points, and they have 3 completely different vibes, but the same story underneath all of it. Limited supply, super strong demand, and not enough homes to go around. The Chicago market has been running strong since COVID, and the fundamentals say it's nowhere near done. Less than 2 months of supply across most of these suburbs. Prices are up significantly across the board. Home selling in days, not weeks. Seeing 18 to 20 offers still happening on certain homes. Crazy. This is not a market in decline by any means. This is a market with its foot on the gas, I promise you. The people who've been waiting for this market to break, waiting for prices to drop, for the bidding wars to end, for the perfect entry point, have been waiting for 5 years. And every year they wait, the people who bought and hold are making more money. The data is clear. The fundamentals are strong here. Chicago is still on fire. And if you want to know about a few more towns exploding in growth in 2026, watch this next video where I go over towns you might not know about yet. And I'll see you there.